And hello and welcome to the Global AI Bootcamp behind the scenes sessions, where we're going to give you some insights into how this amazing conference has been put together. During these episodes, we're going to be talking to people who have organized bootcamps from around the globe. Today, this session, we're going to be talking to organizers in the Africa region. And we also have Microsoft program managers with us to give us some insights into the AI services available inside of Azure. But first of all, quick introductions. Hello, everybody. I'm Stacey Cashmore.
Hi, and I'm Sjoukje Zaal. And in this episode, we will connect to Zakia and Hassan. But before that, we first go to Derek in Seattle, who is one of the program managers on Microsoft. Hi, Derek.
Hi there. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for joining. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. It's always nice to you have opportunities to present at conferences like this. So yeah, looking forward to it. How are the two of you doing?
Not bad.
Very well.
It's spring in the Netherlands. It's pretty.
I say we're in the same boat in Seattle. We're finally kind of getting to the point where we have a few more sunny days and the weather's looking up. So I can't complain about that.
Nice. And you already had your run, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's a little bit early here, so I try to get myself up and run a little bit to build the energy. But yeah, so it should be good.
Nice. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit what you actually do?
Sure. So my name is Derek Legensoff, and I'm a program manager for Azure Cognitive Search. So essentially, I work closely with our engineering team that kind of help build and build the product and really kind of get the product out to customers. So in particular, Azure Cognitive Search is a platform designed to kind of really make it easy to build a rich search experience for your application. And then we've also kind of gone beyond that, and we're now partnering with Bing to pull in some of their state-of-the-art technology to really kind of bring search relevance into the next generation. And so we have a new feature called Semantic Search. So those are kind of some of the key things I work on. So kind of bringing this rich search relevance and democratizing that technology is I'd say a key part of my job at Microsoft.
Sounds really interesting. And is that also what you're going to talk about in the next 20-25 minutes?
Exactly. So yes, my goal was to tell you guys a little bit about Semantic Search. In particular, I kind of wanted to kind of set the scene around how AI is really kind of transforming the search space. I think about AI, I really think about kind of cognitive services like computer vision, translation, and stuff like that. But I don't always think about it in the context of search. I really wanted to show like how kind of AI is really transforming search experiences and show how we're then kind of using that to power our product as well and really kind of democratize this technology.
Wow, sounds good.
Awesome.
Then let's get started. I'm curious to your session.
Awesome. Well, so I have there, guys, so you can see my screen. So what I wanted to do first was just talk a little bit about Azure Cognitive Search. So mostly what I'm going to be talking about today is Semantic Search, which is a feature of Azure Cognitive Search. But what I want to do is spend a couple quick slides just saying what Azure Cognitive Search is. And like I mentioned briefly a second ago, we're a platform as a service. And essentially kind of our mission statement is we just want to make it really easy for you to be able to build a rich search experience. So whether your application needs a search bar or you have like a corpus of documents you need to be able to search over, your Azure Cognitive Search is a kind of a really easy way to get started and build out that experience. And so this slide kind of lists a lot of the different features we have. But this slide, I think, kind of shows you in a picture kind of what Azure Cognitive Search really offers. And it's all these kind of bells and whistles you would expect around a search experience. So of course we can return search results for you and rank them based off search relevance. We can help you with spelling mistakes like filtering. We can do snippets and highlighting, kind of all that stuff you'd expect in a search experience. But one of the kind of the key value adds of our product actually is that we've been working to kind of infuse all the best AI into our product. And for several years now, we've actually been infusing AI at indexing time, so you can enrich all sorts of content to make it searchable. So like imagine like a scanned PDF. You've just taken a PDF, scanned into the computer. So none of it's actually like text that's like accessible. It's just images inside of a PDF. What you can do is you can send this document to Azure Cognitive Search, and as we're indexing it, we can pull out the images, run those through OCR, and make all that text searchable. Or we can do the same thing with images. We can send them to like an analyze image API, get tags for those images and stuff like that. So we can make all this content that previously wasn't searchable at all and make that searchable for you. And there's other cool stuff you can do as well. Like you can do like text translation all within what we call these AI enrichment skill sets. So imagine I just had English content, but I wanted to make it searchable in French and Spanish as well. You easily do that, within our product just by you're configuring your skill set to do these enrichments. So we've been doing that for several years, and now in the last year or two, we've actually been turning and really kind of also focusing on using AI at query time to really kind of improve search relevance, and provide a richer search experience. And and I think, especially I think the audience here is familiar with AI, kind of about like the explosion of AI over the last decade, and how kind of the availability of data, the availability of compute and GPUs, and advancements in neural networks and other techniques have really made AI, have really kind of spurred this AI innovation. You can see here kind of this slide of like the advancements of Microsoft AI over the last few years. And at this point, the slide's even probably a little bit outdated. But one of the key kind of advancements here that's really kind of led to really big improvements, particularly in kind of this language space, are these transformer models. So have you ever heard of, BERT? BERT is like a super famous transformer model. Essentially, these transformer models do a really good job at like text-based tasks. So like, the first bullet point is that they're very capable language models, and I won't. I couldn't do justice kind of explaining all the ins and outs of transformer models. There's really a lot to them, but the really important thing is that they do a really nice job kind of understanding the context of text. So if you had text that like you could have the same sentence, you just switch a few words around and the meaning is totally different. So that's something that's kind of hard for AI to understand, but transformer models really they do a good job looking at kind of the placement of words and the context and the ordering, and really have done a fantastic job in a variety of language tasks. And actually, you can use these types of models across a bunch of different tasks. But really, what these have led to is kind of state-of-the-art gains in NLP. This has actually really improved the search space as well. And actually, these transformer models have allowed kind of Google and Bing to really kind of transform their search experiences as well and provide you even better capabilities. But before I dive in like too much more into like how kind of these transformer models are improving search, what I did want to do is kind of set the scene as to why this is so important and how most search works today. So we do have like these ivory towers of like Google and Bing that have these super sophisticated capabilities. But most search experiences out there, particularly like the applications that we have the ability to build with like open source technologies or products on Azure, we're still using what we call what's the BM25 algorithm, which is you're kind of currently the industry standard, but it's much different than kind of what we think about AI and how kind of like the expectations that almost like Google and Bing give us around like how beautifully search should work. And so if we look at this slide, we have this text, and it's this little passage by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and really how search works is as we're ingesting this text into the search index, we're going to be splitting this up, or since you're going to be splitting these words into tokens or terms, what we would call like the lexical analysis process. So we're going to tokenize these and do a few other tasks, but eventually we end up with an inverted index inverted index doesn't look quite like this, but this kind of gives you like the general picture where we know kind of the terms that exist and like their frequency in different documents. And then at query time, we do the same thing to the query. And then what we're really doing is we're just looking for the matching terms. So down here, we have this like pretty fancy looking equation. This is the BM25 equation. But what it's really doing is it's really just kind of looking at the term frequencies. So, if I search the word corn, it's going to see, this passage says corn once, this other passage says corn 3 times. So we can probably assume that the passage that says corn 3 times is a better match. That's a fairly simple example, but generally is how kind of BM25 works today. And like going beyond that, there's a lot more you can do to kind of customize this. So I mentioned, so there's analyzers and tokenizers and stuff like that you can use to kind of control how that text is being parsed. So you could just do stuff like enable like partial term search or other things. We also have scoring profiles that can boost certain search results. We have synonyms, or you can really use our query syntax to be able to like change how the search results are ranked and stuff like that. There's really a lot of flexibility there. but there's still kind of this fundamental problem that I think we really need to kind of solve in the search space. And I think this slide does a really kind of nice job illustrating this problem. So if you look at these four books, and we searched how to cook French food, which of these four books would you think would be the best result? And so it's like looking at these in my mind, it's definitely this mastering the art of French cooking. It's the only book that's actually you talking about French cooking. But if we were to kind of do like a poor man's scoring algorithm, just kind of count the number of matching terms on our fingers. Like this first book set has three matching terms. How to cook Italian food. That has four matching terms. How to speak French has three matching terms. But actually, mastering the art of French cooking, that only has two matching terms. So if we're just looking at the syntax of this, you mastering the art of French cooking actually has the least matching terms, even though it's clearly like based off our knowledge of the English language, it's clearly the best match. And with this, we really need to kind of go from beyond syntax. And so when we search how to cook French food, we're really just searching these tokens. So how to cook French food, and like language analyzers would kind of allow us to also match cooked and cooking. But in language, there's so many more relevant terms than this. So like if we look at like semantically similar concepts, it's like introduction, uh, class, master, Paris, France, chef. Like all these terms are super relevant to our query, but really aren't being factored in by BM25. And that's where these transformer models that I was mentioning earlier really kind of come in. And deep neural networks can allow us to find semantically similar terms. And every day, like Bing and Google and other technologies are using these deep neural networks to kind of map these words and sentences into this multi-dimensional space called embeddings. And we're showing this multi-dimensional space kind of in three dimensions on the slide. And in reality, it's many more dimensions, like 200, 500, 700, like depending on the type of model you're using. But what I think is really cool about these embeddings is you can actually do some like math around language. So, like in this example, we could do king minus man plus woman, and that actually should get us the word queen because of how these terms are related. So we're actually able to leverage these insights and use this technology to really kind of improve search as well as a bunch of other language tasks. So you take like a quick look about like around how like Bing uses these things. So for example, these deep neural networks can help help with document ranking. So if we search what the pasteurization process is, there's 1.6 million search results. That's a whole lot of search results, and what we really need to do is bring the most relevant ones to the top. So like Bing is able to use these transformer models to do just that. And actually have a large model called RankLM that powers a lot of the ranking. But then these transformer models can also go beyond that, and they can help predict what sentence or caption is going to directly answer a query. So in this case, I know we're all used to if we go into Bing and we can search search a question and a lot of the time we can get an instant answer back and not even have to click into any search results. So it's these same types of models that are able to help us with these tasks as well. And that's really where semantic search comes in. So one of the things that we're super excited about is Microsoft Bing and Microsoft Azure have been partnering together to really kind of democratize these state-of-the-art search technologies and make these accessible to the developer. So all you really need to do is be able to interact with the platform and call our APIs, and you're able to kind of access this technology. And one thing I think is pretty cool to think about is like Bing just spends they spend millions of dollars just on the compute to train these models, and like hundreds of developer years. So there's so much that have gone into training these models that like it would be really kind of hard to emulate and train something quite as sophisticated on our own, because Bing has put so much time and effort into making these models really effective. So with that, I guess without further ado, I could actually I'll tell you what semantic search actually is. And essentially, semantic search is kind of a collection of new capabilities on top of Azure Cognitive Search that really help you build this rich search experience. So the first is semantic ranking. So we're going to re-rank your search results based off these semantic models. We can also give you semantic answers. So if let's say you search what is the capital of France, we're able to give you the instant answer. Paris is the capital of France. We even kind of highlight that exact term for you. And we also can give you semantic captions. And so what semantic captions are, it's really these captions for these other search results. So we've been able to do hit highlighting for a while, where we can highlight kind of any term that exists in the query. But where semantic captions really come in is that they're actually able to highlight terms that don't exist in your query. So you can see, Paris and French, both got highlighted in these captions, and this is like a really relevant snippet to help users understand what document to click into. And then we also have some spell check capabilities that I think are really important as well for helping if there's any like potential misspellings in a query or anything like that. But yes, let me take a moment just to kind of show you this in action. Just move over my web browser. So we have this demo app, and actually I think this demo app is publicly accessible. So if you want to kind of pull down this URL and test this out yourself, you can certainly do so. But let's try out like this query. So we're going to query against the Microsoft Docs data set to start with. And Microsoft Docs is Microsoft Docs is one of the biggest, is a really big user of semantic search as well. So actually, if you go to the docs.microsoft.com site, you'll actually be leveraging semantic search in your document search. So if we were to search what is Azure Search and we misspell search, so we think about kind of how these tokens are working. Really, like nothing's going to match the word search. So like we're really just searching what is Azure, and so you can see we get the results around Databricks and the CLI. But nothing kind of quite like nothing really related to search. So that simple spelling mistake kind of completely ruined all of our search results. Let's go ahead and turn on compare to default. We'll have the original results over here and the kind of the semantic results over here now. So we can turn on spelling, and you can see that helps a lot. We get a much better top result where we're starting to get results around Azure Cognitive Search. But there's still results around Databricks and other things that we wouldn't necessarily expect. They're not going to be as relevant as other documents about Azure Cognitive Search. So let's go ahead and we'll toggle on semantic ranking. See, we're able to kind of re-rank these search results now. So now pretty much everything here is going to be about Azure Cognitive Search. You see things got much more relevant for us all of a sudden. And then we can even go one step further and turn on semantic answers and semantic captions. And we're able to see, now we get the instant answer. Azure Cognitive Search is a search as a service cloud solution that gives developers APIs and tools for adding a rich search experience over their data. We get these captions as well. As you can see, like we're able to go from kind of like in this case, like because of the misspelling, we didn't have relevant search results at all, and then we're able to go from that to kind of these really precise search results. In a lot of cases, BM25 is going to deliver pretty good results for you, but then semantic search can take that even farther and do an even better job. So to show kind of one more quick example, we also have the COVID-19 data set in here, which is a bunch of COVID research papers. I will give the disclaimer that we haven't updated this COVID-19 data set for a while. So please don't go to this site to try to learn the latest about COVID-19 research. So what you'll find is probably a little bit outdated. But I think it still shows kind of the power of semantic search really well. So in this case, if we were to search, how common is a sore throat among COVID-19 patients, you can see the results are pretty good. Like we get results around sore throat, a child with sore throat, but it's not really precisely what I was looking for. Like I want to know about sore throat in particular around COVID-19, and ideally you'd be getting something like a percentage or something like that. So let's do the same thing. We'll kind of go and toggle on. We'll toggle on spelling and semantic ranking. And now we can see the results are much more relevant. So we have sore throat in COVID-19, ENT manifestation in COVID-19 patients. That's ears, nose, throat. I don't know how to pronounce this word, but I looked it up, and it's about I think it's ears and throat related diseases and everything. So you can see the results got much better. And then we can turn on semantic answers and captions. And now you can see we get that instant answer of, in this particular study, 11.3% of COVID-19 patients had that sore throat. Actually, we can scroll through, and one of the things I really enjoy these captions as well because they can really give you good answers as well. In this case, like this study found that 39.6% of patients had a sore throat. So you can see just how much the semantic search is able to really kind of improve the search experience and really kind of put this information at our fingertips. And one thing I see a lot in like kind of the industry reports is people spend so much time just looking for looking for information, like knowledge workers and everyone really kind of there's so much money spent just in time looking for that file or piece of information you need. So having these tools to give you that precise information you're looking for can be really valuable and really make you more effective at doing your job. So, and I know we've only got a few minutes left, so I just want to kind of quickly kind of touch on kind of how this works behind the scenes, and we do have a blog post out. Like if you just kind of go to Bing and search through the science behind semantic search, you'll be able to find this blog post. It goes into like a ton of details. You can really kind of geek out about the stuff for a few hours. One of the things I really appreciate is Bing publishes a lot of research papers around their technology. So this blog will also link out to a lot of those research papers. So it's really a never-ending rabbit hole of kind of digging into these technologies. But I did just want to kind of call out like a few of the key things. So semantic search is run on GPUs. And actually, semantic search isn't just a single model. It's really a composition of models. For example, we have a ranking model. We have a machine reading comprehension model. We have an extractive summarization model. All these models essentially kind of work together to produce that experience that I was just showing you. So it's actually a whole bunch of model calls. And so what we do is we have a bunch of GPUs in the background. We're parallelizing these calls across those GPUs to really make semantic search as efficient as possible. And I guess speaking of efficiency, like so there's some massive neural networks. Actually, I think the original kind of like rank LM model is absolutely massive. It might even be, I forget the exact number, it might even be like 1 billion parameters or something like that. But we need these models to be really efficient so they can return search results in well under a second. It's actually one of the things I find really fascinating. This is a process called distillation, where we actually take these big models and use those to create a much smaller model that maintains much of the knowledge of that bigger model. But is able to run much more quickly because there's a lot less parameters, a lot less math that needs to go on to produce these results. So you can learn about that and a bunch of other stuff in this blog post. But I wanted to dive in and just show you kind of at a high level really how semantic search is working. And what you see is we have, so today we have this where Azure Cognitive Search for a while has had this BM25 based ranker, which in this case we're going to call this an L1, like a layer 1 ranker. So this is how search works today. Like you give us your query, we send the query to BM25, and we then we return the search results. But we can go even beyond that. Now we can do spell correction. So in that case of Azure Search, when we misspelled it, we're going to correct that, and so we're really going to be expanding the recall of the search to provide a lot better candidate documents. So then we can then use BM25 to generate those candidates. And then from there, that's where semantic search really comes in. We're then going to re-rank those results and provide the best results to you. And one thing I wanted to call out too is like, let's say you have like 50-page PDFs you're searching over. We can't just send all that text to these models. It would take too long to deliver the search results to you. So actually, what we do is we have like a prep stage where we're actually prepping these documents. And taking these top 50 results and then kind of finding the most relevant content and then sending those to the semantic models for re-ranking. So there's also this kind of prep stage in here that's really important as well. And just to kind of, I guess, show this in a little more detail, what we'll do is, so after we get the results from BM25, what we're doing is each document, we're going to summarize it, and then we're going to be re-ranking that to give you the score. And this is what this is going to do is this is then going to kind of give you those re-ranked search results, those semantic answers, and all those features you saw in the demo, and really provide that rich search experience for you. So yeah, we'd love for you to check this out. I have a very simple resources slide here. I figured I'd just keep it simple, give you kind of one link. If you go to aka.ms/semantic get started, that'll take you to one of our main document pages. It's going to link out to videos and a bunch of other resources that will help you get started. So I'd say it's super easy to get started. You can go to the portal, turn on semantic search. You can, if you have files and blob storage, you can easily import those into the search service and test this out. So I'd really encourage you to just give this a try. We have a free plan, so you can test this out without having to really pay for much. But yeah, so that is semantic search in a nutshell. And with that, I guess I'll pass it back over to the studio. Is there any questions that you have for me or from the audience?
Yeah, thank you. That was such an interesting session. It's
Thank you.
I think the first question that springs to mind would be, how much of a data scientist do you need to be able to use this?
So I'd say not much at all. So I think like those last slides I showed you, I think it's helpful to kind of understand that flow of how these things are working. But really, for you to be able to leverage semantic search, you don't really need to have much in the way of data science skills at all. Really, like the kind of the skills you need are like you just need to be able to kind of call our REST APIs and implement like integrate search into your application, whether that be like a chatbot or web application. And really kind of we're taking care of a lot of that more complex stuff behind the scenes. Like all you need to do is really kind of be able to get your data in the search index, you format kind of the search requests, and we're able to kind of our documentation will kind of walk you through a lot of that process. So yeah, like I'd say like anybody who knows how to use Postman or call a REST API is able to use semantic search.
And the toggles that you showed with the answers, is that something configurable for developers as well, or is it all in one?
Yes, it is, and I guess I should have had the query syntax pulled up. But yeah, essentially, like each of those things is a kind of a different parameter on your API request. So, for example, if you want the semantic re-ranking, then you set query type equals semantic in your query. If you want the answers, you set like answers equals extractive. If you want, and the same thing for speller and captions. So each of those things you can kind of turn on and off. So you can really kind of configure it if you want to. So let's say you only want the speller, and you don't want the rest of the semantic searches. That's totally something that you can do. Or maybe you just want semantic ranking and answers. You don't care as much about the captions. That's totally something you can do as well.
Yeah. Got
So,
it.
so you're really opening this up then for smaller development teams that might not have that data background to be able to still make their applications so much more usable to their users.
Exactly. I think that's the big thing with search data. Like, there's I like to call them like these ivory towers, like Google and Bing, and it goes beyond that. Like other big products like Instagram search and Spotify search have really compelling search experiences that are using AI and these other really fancy techniques. But yeah, it's like the for the most part, the tools that are available to developers are all kind of based off of BM25, and the industry is really evolving in this space to make these things more sophisticated and more intelligent and powered by AI. But that's really the goal. Is like now we're kind of bringing this technology, moving it from these ivory towers, and putting it in the hands of the everyday developers to be able to use this.
Yeah. Yeah, and the results are fantastic. I know from the past when I implemented search solutions or in SharePoint, for instance, years ago, the search results were bad, very bad out of the box. And this looks much, much better. Yeah, great.
Definitely.
Yeah. So just to double check so that everybody can hear it again, the URL to get started with this is
aka.ms/semantic get started. Or if you could even just go into Bing and search semantic search, Azure Cognitive Search, stuff like that, and you'll be able to quickly kind of find the relevant pages and everything.
Awesome.
Okay,
Fantastic.
great. Thanks a lot for this interesting session.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. Well, after that, except that was amazing session. I am not a data scientist. Some of those diagrams went completely over my head, but
Yeah.
being able to use this just as a developer, it's something that can really make everybody's life just that little bit easier, which is what we're here to do as software developers, make people's lives easier.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, very interesting and definitely worth it to give it a try
Yes.
afterwards.
Something to do this weekend.
So next, we are going to connect to the community organizers, Zakia and Hassan.
We hope.
Yes, hello, hi, Hassan here.
Hi.
Hello there.
Let me put my camera on as well. Hi.
That would be great.
I see
Hi.
you.
Hello there,
Hi.
and hello,
Good
Stuart.
afternoon, good morning, everywhere you are. Good afternoon, anyway. Good morning from good afternoon from Europe. Good morning from somewhere else. I don't know. So nice to see you guys, and thanks so much for having me here today. It was a pleasure. So just small recap. I don't know if you have specific questions directly, or do I have to point to some stuff we did around a bootcamp and such? Then If you have some specific questions, then please feel free to raise them. If not, then yeah, I can just talk you about the event we had hosted last weekend in Morocco, by the way. And it was Sure, go ahead, please.
Yeah. We have some questions. We want to start with a short introduction. So Zakia, maybe you can start to introduce yourself.
Yes, good morning or good evening, everyone. I am Zakia Biora, Project Director of FINAM. FINAM is a federation of innovative and numeric activities in Mauritius, composed by the three main ICT professional associations, that is OTAM, the Outsourcing Association, MITIA, and the CCI France Maurice. The objectives of FINAM is to mutualize resources for common activities of the sector, and the activities have FINAM. The activities of FINAM is organizing in 4 types of activities: capacity building, startup and innovation, international and regional Indian Ocean cooperation, and hackathon and tech events.
Wow.
Awesome.
Nice, awesome.
Thank you.
And you, Hassan, can you introduce yourself?
Sure, I can. Hi, Hassan Fadili. I'm personally from Morocco originally, but citizen in the Netherlands for 20 years now. Community leader in the Netherlands for 17 years, .NET community, where we share our knowledge with the peers, of course, with the professionals and students in this case, when it comes to Microsoft technology in general. That concept I brought to Morocco 5 years ago. Exactly, we're doing the same, sharing knowledge and hosting the technical sessions every month, so that we can share as much as we can on the information on Microsoft Stack with the professionals and students as well. So with that daily basis, working as a IT consultant. I'm working freelance from Fidelity Consultancy, which is my company, where of course I serve my customers with a lot of IT services like implementation of stuff. I'm a developer, by the way, developing stuff, implementing, and consultancy, advice, trainings, and such. And working with a lot of Microsoft teams, of course, based on MCS contracts all over the world, where they have projects and they need resources. Then I get in touch with them, and we can just work on some cool stuff together with Microsoft to make it happen for the customers. And then, yeah, that's the short on job level and community level then.
Sounds great. Great. For 17 years already. That's quite some time.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Community is something which I have in my blood, I can say, and sharing knowledge and being passionate with technology and pass that to generations. That's absolutely something that keeps me ongoing.
Nice.
I know the feeling. It's being able to inspire somebody else. It just gives you energy, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, I know.
Okay. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the global AI community.
Yes. For me, it was just a simple thing to do because, as you guys know, from the Netherlands, then I have my community of 17 years, which means I have working with, or I still work as well with Microsoft folks in the Netherlands on the community level. And Henk and Sjoeke are from the Netherlands, by the way. And then, I have been in touch with these guys from the 4 years now, and they know me and they know them and all the community efforts we do. And for the IE, it is something that I have been showed interest on. And once I saw that, I was inspired and interested to do it. Therefore, I get in touch with Henk, and I just asked all the necessary to do in order to host events like IE Bootcamp and such. Now, this one of this year is the third one I organized in Morocco, by the way. And it was absolutely nice. It is a bit unfortunate that last year that we were not able to host such event because of the COVID circumstances. But I was absolutely very, very happy, and I'm very happy that last weekend it was absolutely amazing to be there as well and to inspire people, students, IT professionals with the new information and updates from IE in general, from cognitive services in general, but on IE and machine learning specifically. So that's how I get in touch with Henk and Sjoeke in this, and how I get inspired on that. Plus, I also during during the last, that was in 2020 before the COVID then, on the Ignite tour. This is also one of the topics I showed interest on, and I did the Ask the Experts and bootcamp stuff in for IE stuff together with Emmy and other Microsoft folks all over the globe, I can say. Very, very nice to do.
Awesome. And Zakia, maybe you could tell us how you got involved in this as well.
Yes, indeed. FINAM is collaborating with different stakeholders and like universities, institutions, and also student clubs. And indeed, it was at the request of the one of the student club here in Mauritius that we organized this autumn session webinar. On the 14th January, it was our first session, and it was one of the first webinar on the Global AI Bootcamp. It was very successful indeed. The participants appreciated the session. Just to tell you that the webinar was supposed to last an hour, and it lasted another 45 minutes without seeing the time going flying. So there was a lot of very interesting questions from the students mainly, and also the young professionals attended this session.
Wow.
Awesome. So it was driven from the students out then. It wasn't something that was offered to the students. It was something that was really requested by them.
Yes, and we were very surprised by their interest, their curiosity to know more about the opportunities about AI in their future works opportunities also. So yeah, it was really great.
Fantastic.
Wow. Yeah. So, and what is it that you're going to focus on in the next year, Zakia? What are your plans around community?
Oh, not next year, but maybe in the coming weeks. This first session allowed us to have some feedback, also to make a planning on the coming months and weeks, because AI, it's an emerging technology that our companies in IT need as a skills also for the staff, but also for their enterprises. So in the coming weeks, we will organize other bootcamp, even in the Global AI Bootcamp or outside it, just to keep the momentum and to be more prepared for other global AI activities on your platform.
Okay, so you're going to organize things in a monthly cadence or a weekly or bi-weekly cadence?
Maybe on a monthly basis, yes.
Okay, that sounds great. Good.
We have indeed already identified some key people, professional key people here in Mauritius. Our first session was animated by the CEO of Aztec Alpha, Nikolai Grunweg, who is a specialist indeed in several technologies on AI. And this is allow us to make some more in more detail planning of activities.
Okay, great. Great. And what are your plans, Hassan, for the upcoming year or the upcoming period?
Yes, the upcoming period will be absolutely an exciting one because of the event we hosted last weekend. We have seen that a lot of interest is shown to this technology by students, but also by IT professionals. Therefore, I agreed on with specifically with some schools in this to go back, because I'm citizen myself in the Netherlands, but I'm absolutely promised to go in monthly basis for 3 months anyway after successfully to get to do some workshops with the students over there, so that to keep them onto the platform and into the technology, of course. And based on that, I have also some plans with 2 specific customers, which are shown as well their interest in using cognitive services and AI machine learning in this case. Now, therefore, I will have to have some follow-up with them in terms of maybe some technical decisions at their companies, and with a lot of sharing information, sharing the knowledge, and maybe coming to some implementation on AI stuff.
Nice.
This is what we plan to do for now. Myself, I'm one of the MVPs for Microsoft for totally another area, which is developer tools and technologies on the ILM stack or Azure DevOps stuff. But the interest for AI and the combination of email ops, for instance, gives me the power to combine the two, and this is exactly where the benefits come through. That's very, very amazing.
Nice, nice. We have some hiccups in the video. I don't know if it is on our end.
I can hear you very well, but wow.
Okay. You.
Oh, wait a minute.
We can see you, but your video is frozen on our end.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
there we
Yes,
go.
we're moving again.
I'm back. Okay. Sorry, I haven't recognized that, but okay.
Technology,
So-
what can you do with it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Indeed.
Hassan, can I ask, did I understand it correctly that you went to Morocco and it was an in-person meetup that you did for your bootcamp?
Yes. So what last weekend, last Saturday, we hosted this because I planned to do this one in January 15. Then we rescheduled to February 12th. Then it took place last weekend on March 12th. This all with the limitations we had with getting into Morocco because the borders and the Moroccan law on this. But now since March 6th, we are allowed to travel again and to get into the country. That's why I get in touch with Chioka and Henk, and we arranged it that way. And last weekend it was, I can tell you, 150 people which are joining the boot camp. That was really, really amazing. It inspires me to do more and more. And then, yeah, that's very nice.
And what kind of activities did you have in person?
Yeah, last weekend, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Last weekend, because as I said, I have the community in Morocco, which is Morocco Microsoft community. Within that community, we have organized that IE bootcamp, and everything around the hosting I did myself the keynote, and also after the introduction, we showed the keynote, which is shown by IE bootcamp guys, you guys from different people, which are talking about IE and how you can inspire people with that, which you and others, and I mean and South. And then we had 3 sessions where I did myself one of the sessions about machine learning in this case as part of cognitive services, and 2 other guys, one of the MVPs as well in Morocco and one of MCTs have done 2 other sessions on IE stuff. Yeah, that's how we split it, how we feel the day. But we would like to do workshops as well. But there were many people that we can serve that. But that is something that we promise to do in another event. So to do a follow-up on that one and just to do some workshops specifically on IE stuff then.
Nice.
So
that people can actually try it themselves and
exactly
get the feel for it from their own keyboard.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, we did a lot of. We combined the theory and the demos. Of course, we showed them the platform. We showed the word defense stuff, how to get started and such. But yeah, students are always still in need of Azure passes and such in order to do something with it. That's also something that we have to get in touch on, so that we can see how can we enable such inspired guys to get some passes in order to get it in their hands themselves. The first impression at least.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. And do we still have Sakira? Because she's disappeared from our screen. Hey, hello.
She's there.
She's back.
We can see you again.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask a similar question. I understand that your session was still online, Sakira?
Yes.
Could I ask what you did? So you had amazing interaction, you were saying, 45 minutes of questions after the session, which is phenomenal. Did you, or
Yes.
what did you do in order to get that interaction from your visitors?
Okay. Indeed, we moderate the questions, and I need to say that we have a very good speaker with a range of knowledge, very large and deep in several technologies. It is his job, indeed, in consultancy. So he could cover all the topics and all the questions related to AI technologies, learning machine, deep learning, etc., data analysis also, and a lot of questions from the participants. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes. I'm reminded of a children's story that my son has, Ada Twist Scientist. You have a question that leads to two, and each of those questions leads to three questions more. And so I'm guessing it was that kind of role that you had in your session then, where people were just triggered to keep on asking.
Yes, and some questions were not answered yet, and we need to plan another just question and answers. Only
Okay.
Oh, phenomenal.
a session like this. Yeah. Yes.
Great. A follow-up. Yeah. So, Zakia, can you tell us a bit more about how the global AI community helped you to organize, or what did the community provide you?
Yes, indeed. There was a platform. I think it's a really great platform to communicate. So unfortunately, we tackle it some 10 days before we familiarized with the platform. But once we did it, it's really interesting to help us in for the diffusion of information about the AI bootcamp, to also encourage people to be on board and have these communities be more stronger here in the AI bootcamp, in the global AI and the global Azure platform.
Okay, sounds great. And Hassan, you already mentioned that you played the keynote, but was there some additional support, or?
Yes, there is absolutely additional support. Before the event, as I say, I have been in touch with the organization, with Henk and Chiok and others. Therefore, of course, the keynote was shared with me in the link in the GitHub space, and also the marketing pack, which you have used for making some browsers and such, which we had done in the rooms, and also some Azure passages which have requested. I doubt if there will not be too much people, then we can do the workshop. Therefore, I requested 20 Azure passes, but there are 150, 160 people. That's too much in order to do. So and also some fee from the organizers. Therefore, we have organized a lunch anyway for the attendees, which was very, very nice. Yeah, I got all the support I needed from the organizers, of course. Therefore, our thanks, of course, for the whole stuff.
Great.
Yes,
thank you.
If I
Yes, of course.
Yes,
Zakia.
if I could, indeed, the GitHub platform for the organizers was really helpful. We have all the materials for communication, the logo, the templates, etc. And this was really nice for us to use, to make it straightforward and better understand the spirit of the event. Also, the videos available to display, to broadcast on the webinar was very helpful. Yes.
And one of the things, Thank you. One addition here is the follow-up I will do with students on the private schools and such for the workshops. That will be absolutely based on the content shared in the GitHub space for the workshops and samples and kind of stuff. This is where we will start and guide them through all the workshops on there, all the spaces, so that they have samples and working things, and then of course we can lead that the right way in order to get them inspired with the technology. So that content is absolutely useful.
Okay, so we need to keep all those workshops in there, not remove it. Yeah.
No, I have already made some backup for myself. So in that way,
Of course.
in that case, you can remove it. But if it is still there, I can point just people to the right links, and then they can get started. Yes.
We will make sure that it stays there. Yeah.
Thanks so
Great.
much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, I'm out of questions. Zakia, is there anything that you want to share that we haven't already asked you?
Yes. I think that the global AI in general shall keep alive the platform, and also all support provided to the organizers. It's very useful, and also all the technical videos. I think it's very important for the users and for the organizers to be available, so we could use it as and when we needed for the event. Yeah.
Yeah. And in addition to that, this morning we had an interview with different community organizers, and Anna Puma was on it, and she has plans to do something around certification tracks. So that could also be very helpful to collaborate on that. Yeah,
exactly, that one. Yeah,
Okay.
I was absolutely pleased to mention that one as well. Really.
Okay.
Yeah, because as Zakia said, the content on there is absolutely interesting. First of all, thanks so much, guys, for the all efforts done, because it has just it is huge effort is there, huge content is there, which is appreciated. Simple to follow as well, at least for me then in the organizers, which is good, and of course because of the interest shown by the students and by the professionals, we see indeed that there's a lot of interest, and they will absolutely be happy to be certified in such technology, so that they can take that a step further, in order to make it part of their own daily lives, they can say, in their daily job, in order to make some solutions and such from the technology. That's where it is.
Great. Let's collaborate on that in the upcoming period.
Absolutely.
To make that happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hassan, anything else that you want to share on top of this?
What I want to share is the continuity of the platform, the continuity of the technology. Just curious about what's coming in the future. Of course, we follow the development and the information on that technology stack, and we are just very, very curious. If you compare that with the last years, for instance, we see that it is a lot improved. The decision I have just seen from the previous speaker in terms on cognitive search, this is absolutely improved, really, because what it was 1 or 2 years ago is absolutely something that it is right now, and it is becoming simple and simple, and exactly the same thing. Because one of the things I showed last weekend as well in one of the sessions is I walked the audience through the possibilities within the Microsoft Classic machine learning. How can I say it? Oh man, it's gone. The studio, machine learning studio, for instance. And therefore, I just inspired them, hey, you don't have to be a guru in order to use it, because for every discipline and for every expertise and the interest, there is something to share on there, right? So the cases from Dan, from John, from others, where I had the quadrant with different personas with their scenarios, and to get some specific and applicable scenarios which they can work on, even if you are not experience with that, but because of the possibilities the platform you provide, you can just do your stuff, your daily job using the visual designer or auto email or notebooks or such. Those are all applicable things, and the platform has that, and yeah, that's something amazing.
That's really amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad that I don't have to be a data scientist to use this. That it is that accessible for me as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Just it's about your models, how to treat your models, and how to get them. All started, of course, from the data, structured or unstructured data, and from there you can just take that because the platform itself is already huge enough to get you started over there. So, which is good.
Great.
And
Thanks
as
a
I
lot.
said already, because of the area where I'm MVP on, which is DevOps, I took it as well on that part to make it visible how email ops also can help here with the integration of Azure DevOps and the deployments and such, and the flow, which is repeating, of course, every time with the continuous delivery. Then,
Thank you. Thanks so
you're
much.
welcome, ladies. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you both for joining us here today.
A pleasure.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
good luck in the upcoming period with organizing awesome events for your community.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for the time and effort that you put into doing that and making this available to so
No
many
problem.
developers.
Always a pleasure to help the community where we can. This is what inspired me, at least. The community is just my daily job, I can say.
Good to hear. Good to
Yes,
hear.
it was a great pleasure, and it's always a pleasure to show experiences, competences, and this global AI encourage us here in Mauritius to organize in a consistently manner events around AI. So thanks a lot for this, and a big thanks also for all resource person, all the people behind, also on your side, behind the organization of this platform and this bootcamp. So warm thanks for this.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you.
You're
We,
more than
we
welcome.
have the big Henk who is helping us with this. Yes, and supporting
Yeah,
us.
Henk is absolutely nice guy. Absolutely, he knows more. He knows more than that. So, by the way, this is not the only community I'm involved in. As I said, I'm a developer from the basic land. Microsoft Stack in general inspires me. We put a lot of effort from .NET community, which is my community in the Netherlands, which I served all 17 years. We shared all the Microsoft technologies in there. And involvement in .NET development, for instance, involvement in Azure Bootcamp as well. There is also a global Azure Bootcamp where I also put effort in to share as much as possible information with the audiences and inspire people on that one with the services available on the platform, and also specifically on Azure DevOps stuff with GitHub and such. And yeah, global IE Bootcamp is absolutely a big fit, a big plus in order to take it as well further and make it part of my CV, I can say.
Great. Thanks a
Awesome.
lot.
Thank you both.
Okay.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you for
Okay.
joining.
Have a
See you.
great day.
Have a good day.
See you.
Evening.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye. Bye.
That was awesome.
That was a fantastic talk.
Yeah. Really so nice to see all people around the globe organizing these types of events and learning new stuff. Really
Yeah,
awesome.
like, the enthusiasm that you see coming off of people is just, it makes everything worth it when you see that kind of stuff happening.
Yeah, really great. So we've reached the end of this show, this episode. The next one will be in a couple of hours, and then we are moving to South America. So stay tuned for our next session. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. See you then.